Yeah, in my experience, it's really hard to develop that culture where every voice matters and is respected.
Not everybody, their strength isn't to talk out loud in front of the class.
Usually you hear from a few students that are confident to speak.
And particularly using the anonymous feature, just getting a lot more participation from a wider range of students.
Parlay has given me several tools that have allowed me to hear from more of my students, to give more of the very shy and quiet students the ability to jump in when they might not feel comfortable, especially the whole idea of being in a conversation and having to just speak up to get into that conversation is hard. The fact that they can press a button and raise their hand, they're a lot more willing to press that button.
Like a lot of times I'll do 2 days where it's like day 1 is the online roundtable, day 2 is the live. And they feel so much better knowing that they can put things out there and stay anonymous, at least when they're still developing their idea. You know, with kids of all different levels and speaking multiple languages, like there's just no other tool like it that allows them to not have to worry about that and to feel like they can make a mistake and not have somebody criticizing them face to face or personally.
So I'm a special education teacher at the junior high level. They're usually the kids who sit back and don't say much in class. So Parlay has really been a platform for them to get their voice out and without kind of fear of judgment or making a mistake. So when they feel accomplished and they've gotten their thought out there and then they get a response like, yeah, you know, maybe you could think about it this way. I feel like they feel valued and their opinion is valued.
And to see how they were responding, they were genuine responses.
That like empathy that we share with each other really has like driven a sense of belonging and unity in my classroom too, which has been really cool.
The replying in a way that's not offensive, but it's conducive to continue conversation when there's disagreement or dissension.
When they read other people's work, they had to be conscious, really conscious about what people were saying. And it was so respectful that I felt like, again, that community was built.
I mean, I'm still the teacher and I still need to build those relationships for these discussions to go well. It's not going to happen without me building those relationships and making sure that they're comfortable.
The more safe the environment is, the deeper people can get in those discussions too. One of my students said in one of their exit ticket statements was, I love how we can disagree with a lot of things that other people have to say in this classroom, but outside we can still be friends.
And I love the data analytics. You know, and you can share that with the kids and saying, look at all the interactions with you posting on other people's comments.
And it really did help me in distance learning because I only used my live sessions for discussions because I wanted them to interact and hear their voices. And it would be really hard in that for people to jump in. So I kept the Parlay live discussion up on my presentation for them. And that's how I ran all my discussions, even if it wasn't necessarily a Parlay thing.
For me, it really brought what I felt the strength of my classroom was, which was that community. It brought it to the distance learning. And
looking ahead to this coming school year, that's the kind of discussion that I'm looking for to start kids with, is ways for them to get to know each other without like, what's your favorite color? We put ourselves in little icebreaker boxes. And I think Parlay can be a great tool for that.
So I've taught history for the past couple of years. In history, you guys have a collection on the hero or villain. And it was like almost a theme that resonated throughout the rest of the year. In the beginning, the class really had different ideas on what the definition of a hero was or a villain. And some of them were like, went automatically like superhero. Some were like, oh no, like, you know, police officers. And some were like, well, my grandma's my hero. So they, as a class, kind of had to come together to decide what really makes a person a hero. And then as we went throughout the course of the year, they were continuously, so do you guys think this is a hero or a villain? Like they always brought that back up.
You know, when you've got these group of young people discussing a complex issue, you know, respectfully listening, but it's just so hard to build that classroom culture that those things happen regularly. And going from the online to the live discussions with Parlay has certainly made that process much more manageable.